Starting off, we got Taylor Swift. Jake Gyllenhaal has come back into the spotlight purely because of Taylor Swift's recent 10-minute release of her hit song All Too Well. The first version was 5 minutes, but for the re-release of the album Red, she included the original length of the song, which was 10 minutes. In the song, Taylor is agonizing over a past relationship and singing about her heartbreak. From the Easter eggs she's given us, her fanbase has widely regarded this relationship was with actor Jake Gyllenhaal. Swift, now 31, dated Gyllenhaal, now 40, for 3 months in late 2010. She then channeled her emotions to make the hit album Red in 2012. Taylor also released a short film along with a 10-minute version of the song, and cast Dylan O'Brien, who is 30, and Sadie Sink, who is 19, in the All Too Well short film, which happens to be a very similar age difference to her and Jake Gyllenhaal during their relationship. Taylor calls out Jake in the line, quote, "And I was never good at telling jokes, but the punchline goes, I'll get older, but your lovers stay my age." This line especially hits hard since Jake is currently dating a woman 16 years younger than him. In the song, she says that apparently Jake Gyllenhaal claimed that they might still be together if they were closer in age. Even though most people are on Taylor's side, many are criticizing how harshly that she's painting Jake, as it was only a 3-month relationship, but it's widely believed that Jake Gyllenhaal was her first real boyfriend, so clearly very pivotal to her life. In the song, Swift references an unnamed actress who caught her, quote, weeping in a party bathroom and asked what happened. Fans have speculated the actress was Jennifer Aniston at the People's Choice Awards, but of course nothing's been confirmed. Another line of the song paints a picture of Jake not showing up to Taylor's 21st birthday party. The line goes, quote, "You who charmed my dad with self-effacing jokes, sipping coffee like you're on a late night show, but then he watched me watch the front door all night, willing you to come, and he said, it's supposed to be fun turning 21. In response to the new version of the song and all the negative media attention that he's getting, Jake Gyllenhaal is apparently mortified. A source claimed, quote, "Jake is mortified that Taylor is targeting him in All Too Well. He's such a private person and goes out of his way to avoid drama, so having their 3-month fling dragged up in this song and hearing people gossip about it is a hard pill for him to swallow."
Next up, Jeremy Renner. Clearly, Brie Larson is not very good in interviews, and she had another awkward interaction with her co-star Jeremy Renner during an interview. The topic of discussion was being a celebrity and being conscious of their platforms. Larson responded, quote, "I'm committed to self-improvement. I work at being the best person that I can be and using this platform for as much good as I can. That doesn't mean I don't make mistakes, but I'm very comfortable with that, allowing myself to learn from those mistakes." During the conversation, Renner looks completely annoyed, like he's holding back an eye roll. When it's his turn to speak, Renner says, quote, "I'm pretty accountable and responsible in my own life at any rate. Celebrity is not something I use any sort of platform to be more responsible or accountable, I suppose." Basically firing back at Larson's idea that being a celebrity means she needs to be a voice for social issues.
Next up, Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal became besties after they worked together on the 2017 sci-fi horror film Life. After the movie, the pair would attend events together and talk about one another in the press. It was very clear that they spent a lot of time together. Then all of a sudden the pair had a falling out and no longer talk. One source claims the falling out was due to competition. Apparently tension started once the pair realized that they were competing for similar roles. Currently, it seems that Reynolds is the one winning in the acting game, as he is the face of huge movies like Free Guy and Red Notice, while Gyllenhaal has not done anything notable in years. His last role of that caliber was in Spider-Man: Far From Home in 2019. The source added, quote, "All their friends chalk up their falling out to show business. Ryan and Jake realize that in Hollywood, there are so many seats at the table." Years back when the pair were friends, Gyllenhaal told BBC's The One Show that he didn't feel threatened by Reynolds. Apparently he felt the dynamic between the two of them was perfect and there was no competition or jealousy at that time. But now that Reynolds has become a much bigger star, people believe that Gyllenhaal's mind was the one that changed, and he started distancing from Reynolds because he was bitter. Next up, Robert Downey Jr. A little known fact about SJP is that she was in a long-term relationship with Robert Downey Jr. before she got married to Matthew Broderick. The pair dated for 7 years before Parker called it quits. Years later, they both revealed secrets about the relationship, and Parker exposed that she had to let him go due to his struggles with illicit substances. Parker then revealed in a Vanity Fair interview that the relationship taught her how to be a parent. She said, quote, "It taught me how I love, and what's the difference between loving and taking care of people and what's necessary and what grown-ups should do and shouldn't do for each other. And maybe it taught me a little bit about being a parent too, because the things that I ended up caring about in the way I cared for Downey were things that might be more suitable for a parent. Although some felt these comments were endearing, many thought that they were actually patronizing, and that she was belittling Robert Downey Jr., insinuating that he wasn't able to take care of himself. Although Downey Jr. has been very respectful responding to these comments, and he largely agreed that his substance issues were the downfall of their relationship. And finally, himself. Jake Gyllenhaal completely exposed himself when he revealed that he doesn't make bathing a priority. He told Vanity Fair back in August, quote, "More and more I find bathing to be less necessary at times. I do also think that there's a whole world of not bathing that is also really helpful for skin maintenance, and we naturally clean ourselves." Although he wants everyone to know he is not dirty and that he brushes his teeth often. He said, quote, "I do believe because Elvis Costello is wonderful that good manners and bad breath get you nowhere, so I do brush my teeth." These comments were made at a time when celebrities were coming forward sharing that they do not bathe daily. The conversation first started when Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher revealed that they don't bathe their kids daily, only when they see dirt on them. But after the comments went viral, Gyllenhaal somewhat regretted them and clarified his comments to BuzzFeed. Apparently he was being sarcastic when he gave that last answer. He said, quote, "I don't know what it was. I answered a question where I was being sarcastic and ironic, and it's followed me around." Continuing to joke about the subject, he added, quote, "Unfortunately, I showered before I came here, so I'm sorry."
First up, Chris Hemsworth and Don Cheadle. Chris Hemsworth and Don Cheadle did an interview with Larson in 2019 to promote their latest film, Avengers Endgame. But it was clear during the interview that Hemsworth and Cheadle do not like Brie Larson, and anytime she spoke, they made their disdain very clear. While speaking to Entertainment Tonight, the trio got on the topic of stunt doubles, and Hemsworth stated he does a lot of his own stunts, but not the more dangerous things. Larson then chimed in that she does all of her own stunts because she believed that's what everyone else did. Hemsworth even mockingly praised her as the next Tom Cruise, as Tom Cruise famously does all of his own stunts. Many felt it was rude that she butted in to make those comments while Hemsworth was praising the work of his stunt doubles. And worst of all, the quartering later exposed that Larson did use a stunt double and she wasn't even telling the truth. Then the topic of which of their superhero characters was the strongest came up, and Larson replied, quote, "There's no competition for me because I'm the strongest." In response, Hemsworth said, quote, "We'll let her think that." Then there was an incident with Cheadle. While Larson was talking about something involving the three of them, Larson started hitting both men with their elbows in a playful way, kind of like this thing. But it was obvious that Cheadle was not having any of it and even flat out told her to stop, not in a playful way. Body language experts broke down the interaction and it was clear that he was not pleased. One expert named Mandy O'Brien made a video breaking down the entire interview, criticizing Larson's appearance and behavior during the Marvel movies press tour. During the interview with Cheadle and Hemsworth, O'Brien said that the men were relaxed while Larson's body language was domineering and stiff. O'Brien felt that Larson was trying to be taller than the men, essentially trying to dominate them, which obviously is not a behavior that will develop a friendship between coworkers. O'Brien added, quote, "I guess in her mind, domination equals acceptance. In reality, submission will get you a lot further in friendship circles than trying to dominate and boss everyone around."
Next up, David Fincher. David Fincher and Jake Gyllenhaal worked together on 2007's Zodiac. But following the film's release, it's clear the pair had a lot of tension while filming. In one interview, Gyllenhaal hinted that he didn't have a good relationship with the director. Apparently, a big issue is that Fincher likes to get tons of takes from his actors so that he can be sure he's gotten the best one. Gyllenhaal doesn't like this method and believes it goes too far. Years later, in a new interview with the New York Times, Fincher cleared the air on the drama. Fincher says that at the time, Gyllenhaal was a hot new actor and had a lot of attention from the media. Because of this, he was very distracted and it was hard for him to work with someone that demanded perfection. Fincher added that Gyllenhaal would go to various film festivals over the weekend, and when he would show up to set on Monday, he would be scatterbrained.
Next up, fan boycott. Following all the backlash against Larson and the clear dislike of her by her co-stars, it was not a shock to see that petitions popped up trying to axe Larson from the next Captain Marvel film. Unfortunately for fans, the movie did get a sequel starring Larson, but it was clear that Marvel made some changes to please their fans and made the sequel named The Marvels instead, meaning instead of solely focusing on Larson's character, the movie would also showcase other Marvel superheroes. And it's very clearly a demotion from her last role. Based on the performance of this upcoming film, film, her time with MCU could end for good. And this is not the only project that Larson has been demoted in. The Marvel animated series named What If also demoted and replaced Larson in the show. The show features Marvel's biggest stars like Michael B. Jordan, Sebastian Stan, and Tom Hiddleston. However, Larson was shockingly replaced in the series by up-and-coming actress Alexandra Daniels. Daniels opened up to her fans during a Twitch stream about getting that part in Marvel's animated series, saying, quote, "When I auditioned, they were looking for a Brie Larson voice double, so they sent a clip of Brie Larson from the movie and I was like, cool, I can do that. And I did it, and like a month later, they were like, you booked it, and that was my first voice job ever." She continued that she thought she would not get any credit because she was just going to be a voice double, but then she was surprisingly given credit in the first episode and it was clear that she was going to be a real character. More bad news for Brie Larson.
Next up, Candace Bushnell. If you didn't already know, the Sex and the City series is based on the book by Candace Bushnell, so essentially Candace is the real-life Carrie. Bushnell's book was inspired by the column she wrote for the New York Observer in the 1990s. And after the feud started, she decided to weigh in on the feud between the ladies and seemingly took Cattrall's side over Parker's. Bushnell told the New York Post, quote, "I absolutely love Kim, but it seems she wants to do other things and she doesn't feel like doing the show. Maybe she doesn't want to be the character anymore. Maybe she doesn't want to put the Spanx on." Adding, quote, "In real life, those women are not those characters, they are the opposite. Sarah Jessica Parker, she's been married forever to the same guy, she's got kids. I don't know her very well, but she seems to be very family oriented in a way that Carrie is not." This comment could also be interpreted to mean that the ladies are not friends off camera as they are on camera, which we've obviously seen with Kim Cattrall. When asked if she was going to be watching the new revival, Bushnell said, quote, "Of course I'm going to watch it, I hope it runs for 6 seasons, and I get paid a bit of money." First up, Kim Cattrall. Easily the most famous feud that Sarah Jessica Parker has been a part of was with her longtime co-star Kim Cattrall. Kim and Parker, along with Kristen Davis and Cynthia Nixon, starred together on the hit show Sex and the City for several years, even starring in 2 hit movies together. But after the show ended, we learned that there was a lot of tension between the women throughout the entirety of the show, and there was an intense division between the women. It was 3 versus 1, with Kim Cattrall being the one left out. In a 2017 New York Post article titled "Inside the Mean Girl Culture That Destroyed Sex and the City," it explained that SJP and Cynthia Nixon became friends instantly as they had worked together in the past. Then Kristen Davis was welcomed into their group, but Cattrall was left out. Cattrall was closest with the show's creator and producer Darren Star, but was left lonely when he was replaced with a good friend of SJP's, Michael Patrick King. Then a report in the Telegraph revealed that Sarah Jessica Parker and Kim Cattrall feuded again when SJP was titled as an executive producer on the 2nd season, which made her salary much higher and gave her more control on the project. Kim tried to negotiate for a higher salary as a result, but was denied. This same report also looked back at the time in 2004 when Cattrall didn't sit with the other actresses at the Emmys, to which she said, quote, "Are we the best of friends? No, we're professional actresses, we have our own separate lives." Then in 2009, while the women were filming the first movie of the franchise, an article stated that Cattrall and SJP were no longer speaking. However, when they spoke about it themselves, the women shut down any rumors of a feud. We're assuming to help keep the integrity of the show together. But then when talks of the 3rd Sex and the City movie started, it was revealed that Cattrall was the reason that it was stalled. Apparently Kim asked Warner Brothers to produce other movies that she was a part of, or she wouldn't agree to do the 3rd movie. Warner Brothers did not agree and the movie never happened. Then in an interview later with Piers Morgan, Cattrall revealed that she never intended to go back to the franchise. She told Piers, quote, "We've never been friends, we've been colleagues, and in some ways that's a very healthy place to be, as you have a clear line between your professional life and your personal too." Adding, quote, "I really think Sarah Jessica Parker could have been nicer." But this feud is not over. Things picked up once again when Cattrall's brother passed away. Sarah Jessica Parker took to Instagram to share her condolences. She wrote in an Instagram comment, quote, "Dearest Kim, my love and condolences to you and yours, and Godspeed to your beloved brother." But Kim hated this comment so much that she decided to respond in a separate post. The post tagged Parker and said, quote, "Your continuous reaching out is a painful reminder of how cruel you really were then and now. Let me make this very clear, if I haven't already, you are not my family, you are not my friend." Clearly putting their feud on blast to the public for the first time ever, and making it clear that they had problems back when they were filming the show. Because of this long-running feud, Kim Cattrall is not a part of the new revival, and just like that, the show did not kill off Samantha Jones, rather they wrote that she moved to London following a fight with Carrie Bradshaw. From Cattrall's social media activity, it's clear she has no regrets about her choice not to be a part of the new show.
And finally, Brie Larson herself. Back in 2018, Brie Larson got in a huge scandal when she was accused of being a quote white man hater after a slew of questionable interviews. After she was cast as Captain Marvel, the predominantly male fanbase was not happy. According to Screen Rant, a small group of extremely vocal fans pushed back at the female-centric film. Then Larson made some comments about diversity and gender that made matters much worse. In 2018, while accepting an award at the Crystal and Lucy Awards, Larson decided to comment on the fact that so many movie critics are white men. She said, quote, "I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him." She went on to speak about the movie A Wrinkle in Time, saying that it was not made for white men, and she wants to hear what women of color think about the movie. She repeated that she, quote, "does not hate white dudes" throughout her speech, rather she just wants diversity. Even though she got some heat for those comments, she doubled down on them a year later in an interview with Marie Claire UK. She said about the topic of movie reviews, quote, "I started paying attention to what my press days looked like, the critics reviewing movies, and noticed it appeared to be overwhelmingly white males." These comments sparked backlash from men's rights groups who tried to start a boycott against Captain Marvel. In 2019, Cinema Blend reported that Larson clarified her comments by saying, quote, "What I'm looking for is to bring more seats to the table," although many felt she took a stance of exclusion rather than inclusion. Brie Larson also got the attention of all her haters when she launched her own YouTube channel. Her first video was called "So I Made a Decision," announcing the channel. It got great views, over 500,000 in less than a day, and over 127,000 subscribers. But the dislikes on the video were very high. In that time, the video raked up over 50,000 likes, but 18,000 dislikes, with some of the comments saying that the dislikes should be way higher. One comment read that when they first saw the video, it had 18,000 dislikes, but when they came back to it about an hour later, it only had 17,000 dislikes, so 1,000 less, meaning that she was potentially covering it up and getting rid of them somehow. This was even more proof for her haters that she was just a liar. Another scandal that got Larson in some serious heat was when she lied about her casting in Captain Marvel. Fans respect that she has to keep it a secret for the sake of contracts, but the way she went about it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. According to Cheat Sheet, a month before Marvel confirmed that Larson had been cast as Carol Danvers and the 2016 Comic-Con, a reporter asked her about the upcoming movie, trying to get the inside scoop on the role. To the question of if she was playing the role, Larson responded, quote, "Who's Captain Marvel?" She continued to play dumb, saying, quote, "So I would be playing a man? I'm down to play Chris Evans." Oh wait, no, Chris Evans is Captain America. Who's Captain Marvel? I have no idea what I'm talking about. Since they announced only a few days later, it's clear that she knew what was going on. But the annoying way that she went about it really rubbed people the wrong way.
Next up, Michelle Collins. A woman named Michelle Collins exposed Sarah Jessica Parker and her husband after Collins read a number of emails that Parker sent to her staff over the years. In the emails that Collins claimed were written by Parker, she told her staff to refill a tiny container of Vaseline with a small spoon or knife for her children's use. In the email, Parker stressed not to make the refill jar too big so that it doesn't clutter her home. Also, after this is done, the cutlery used for that task must be washed in a specific way. It must be hand washed using a paper towel, followed by a cycle in the dishwasher. In another email, Parker also requested that a bottle of face wash and Neutrogena body wash be continually replenished for her 14-year-old son, James Wilkie, in his personal shower. One of Parker's staff allegedly revealed that they are not allowed to buy multiples of any products and said they must check the levels of everything daily and only buy something new if it needs to be immediately replaced. Michelle Collins also claimed that when SJP's kids came down with pink eye, Parker sent the team instructions on how eye drops should be administered, including how hard the children should blink after. The last email shared showed Parker's shopping list for her family's Taco Tuesday dinner, which included, quote, "whatever meat goes in tacos." However, I did want to note this all could be a lie, because when Parker was asked to comment on the outrageous emails, Parker's team said they had no idea who Michelle Collins is. Jan Cadeau. Now that Jake Gyllenhaal's relationships are being analyzed in the media, people are realizing that Taylor's line in the All Too Well song is pretty accurate, and Jake Gyllenhaal has a tendency to date younger women. Jake Gyllenhaal's current relationship is with French model Jan Cadeau, who is 25 years old. But what makes things fishy is the fact that they have been dating since 2018, so Cadeau would have been about 22 years old when they first started dating. The pair are very private, and they only went public in May of this year. They walked the red carpet at the New York Film Festival in September. They were accompanied by Jake's sister Maggie and her husband Peter Skarsgård. Jan Cadeau is 25 years old, giving her and Jake a 15-year age gap as he is 40. In Taylor's song All Too Well, she added the line, quote, "I'll get older, but your lovers stay my age." Which many think is pretty timely considering the age gap in his current relationship. And even though Gyllenhaal has been in a number of long-term relationships over the years, he admitted in one interview that he's only been in love twice. That got the internet scrambling to see who those women could be. Most speculate those women to be Reese Witherspoon and Kirsten Dunst. And finally, SJP herself. After marrying fellow actor Matthew Broderick, SJP has mothered 3 children with him. Since Parker was a mother for a part of her time on Sex and the City, she has opened up about how she's able to raise her kids while being a working mom. In 2010, Vogue asked her if she had any live-in nannies helping her, as her children had been photographed with nannies before. SJP responded, quote, "We painted our patio furniture ourselves, I make my children's food myself, we put together their high chairs ourselves, we do a lot ourselves. We do our own grocery shopping, we go to the market ourselves, you know, I do my laundry." This was followed by a 2014 interview with Huffington Post, where Sarah Jessica said she caught the subway, quote, "every single day to and from work, every single day." She somewhat avoided answering the question, but later revealed that she's had a lot of help, but no live-in nannies. On the Girl Boss podcast, she said, quote, "All I do is organize people's lives and get them here and there." Fans are angry she makes it seem like the every woman running a home and a job like many modern women are. However, it's clear she's not like the rest of us, and she does have help she most likely just doesn't want to own up to.